Good morning, and it's good to see you again. Welcome to another phenomenal Browdy Realtors training. And if you're joining live right now, comment in the comment section. Tell us where you're joining us from. Comment your location live from where you're joining from. And then if you're just joining us, if you can hear me, type one. If you can see me, type two. And if you can hear and see me, type three. Okay. It's good to see you again this morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, today we'll be talking about the common mistakes that affect your sales as a realtor. There are plenty of mistakes that we make that are common, but they affect our sales. If you stay to the end of this training, you have a lot of takeaways that will affect your sales for life. So make sure you stay to the end, stay connected, make sure you have your writing materials if you need to, and make sure you're not distracted. For those of us on site, it's good to see each and every one of you. Athor, it's good to see you. Manuel, it's good to see you. Your name is Timothy. Tim, it's good to see you. Obi, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. Wisdom is good to see you. It's good to see each and every one of us. And you there online, it's good to be in your face again. As always, this training promises to be high value. So stay connected. Stay here with us. Now, we are Browdy Global and we are a real estate marketing and development company. We are Redden certified and we have properties across the Southeast and Abuja. So if you're looking for a real estate company to partner with and increase your personal economy, we are that company for you. We also have a platform where you can start off, progress, and build your real estate journey, and that's Browdy Realtors. We are going to drop the link in the comment section for you to join and start your journey as a realtor. With that being said, my boss and mentor always says something, and I believe that with the whole of my heart. He said that our worlds are built by our words. He would always quote the scripture in Genesis chapter 1 where God said, and then it was. So everything that we come across in life was first thought of, then said, and then it became. And that's why we take our affirmation sessions very seriously. We're going to take our affirmations now. Sugar, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. It's not I. It's good to see you. Jay, it's good to see you. Jay, you're looking very, very fine today. So fine that you distracted me. My God. Focus, focus, young man, focus. As I was saying, our words are formed by our words. We're going to be taking our affirmation session right now, and I want you to say it with the whole of your heart. Don't just say it like it's another word you're saying. Say it from your heart. Mean what you're about to say. Be present and feel the words come out of your mouth. Okay? Are we ready?
Yes, sir.
Are we ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. So right now, I just want you to calm down, release your shoulders, take the tensions off your shoulders, release your shoulders, relax, 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 relax. Take a deep breath in one, hold the breath there, take it out. One more time, take a deep breath in, hold it there, take it out. One more time, take a deep breath in, hold it there, then take it out. Good. Now we're present. Now let's start our affirmations. I am the best at what I do.
I am the best at what I do.
I create exceptional results.
I create exceptional results.
I have the skills,
I have the skills,
knowledge,
knowledge,
drive, and ambition
drive, and ambition
to achieve my goals.
to achieve my goals.
I persist until I succeed.
I persist until I succeed.
I execute flawlessly. the big picture.
I see the big picture.
I am Roy Moore Ashimole.
I am Benedict.
Put your name there. Please don't call my name. If you call my name, I take your blessing. I am Roy Moore Ashimole.
I am Benedict.
Nothing is too big for my mind.
Nothing is too big for my mind.
Nothing dies in my hands.
Nothing dies in my hand.
Nothing is too big for my mind,
Nothing is too big for my mind.
and nothing dies in my hands.
And nothing dies in my hand.
Yes, please put your hands together for yourselves. Put your hands together for yourselves. Put your hands together for yourselves. To those of us online, I hope we took that affirmation session very seriously. And right about now, our mind is set, our hearts are set, the atmosphere is ready, and we're about to take today's training to the next level. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be talking about again common mistakes that affect your sales as a realtor. And if you're ready like I am, we're about to call up our trainer for today, and it's in the person of Jacinta Okwa. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the phenomenal, the outstanding, the one and only super realtor, the award-winning. Ladies and gentlemen, are your hands still not busy? Please put your hands together for Jacinta Okwa, please. You're welcome, Jacinta.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Jacinta.
Good to see everyone of you. Welcome back to Realtors Training, courtesy of Browdy Global Limited and Realtor School. How many of us are happy to be here? If you're happy, let me know in the comment section. Let me see your fire emoji in the comment section. For those joining online, type 1 if you can see me clearly, and type 2 if you can hear me clearly. And those sitting right here, let me hear some noise if you can. So today, we'll be diving into one of the critical factors that affect our sales as a realtor. Right, we'll be unveiling some common mistakes that affect our sales as a realtor. I know we have touched about critical factors that affect our sales. If you have been following us, online, or you have been following our realtors training over this time, you will know that we have discussed extensively about this. But what I'm going to be talking about today is something that is usually ignored by a lot of people. And in fact, it is something that we don't even think about, right? But these things that we don't even think about, that we don't even see it as a problem, are usually the causes of what makes us to lose some sales, right? How many of us were here last Thursday? Last Thursday we talked about Mr. Jeff discussed extensively on how on the PVC model, right? The PVC model. P means what? Positioning, right? Then V means what? Value. Yeah. And then C means what? Consistency, right? Now, once you have done all of this, once you have positioned yourself, you've shared value, and then you have been consistent, right? Next thing is that people will start reaching out to you for the business that you do. True or false?
True.
People will start reaching out to you once you have positioned yourself, once you are sharing value, once you are consistent. People feel that, oh, I can do business with this person. Now, when these people start coming, how do you treat them? How do you respond to them? And that is why in the sales anatomy, we actually talked about that the sales begins with what? You as a realtor. So you see that in every ramification, it still boils down to you as a realtor. So the way you treat the client, the way you treat your prospects or the lead that you have generated determines the sales outcome, right? If you treat the person right, you get results, that you get commission, right? Then if it doesn't work out, you don't get commission, you don't get paid. So today, this is what I'll be going to be This is what I'll be discussing today on this training. Are we ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Why am I always looking for Makande? Okay. Are we ready? Please, if you are ready in the comment section, I want to see your fire emojis. And as I go, please, if you have questions, make sure you drop them at the comment section. And for us here, you can as well note down your question as we can I hear an amen?
Amen.
So before I talk about those common mistakes, I want to talk about what do you do when a client reaches out to you? What to do when a client appears, Abby? When a client appears, calls, or even make inquiries. So so I know most of us have made sales one or the other right here, right? We've made sales. So when that person reached out to you, how did you respond? Can we recall how we responded to the person? Well, the first thing that you do when a client reaches out to you or when a prospect reaches out to you is to first what? Answer what? Politely. You respond politely. And that is where Mr. Jeff will say that even when he's sleeping and somebody reaches out to him and say, "Oh, I just saw your video online. I want to," he said that immediately he gets up. If he's lying down, he will sit up and respond. So the first thing is to respond politely. That is acknowledging the client's presence. Right? Now, in this particular place, if you are not like disposed at that time to respond to the client, right? If you're not disposed to respond to the client, you can reschedule. You say, "Oh, I am very busy right now. Can I call you in so minutes?" And if it is something that you can respond there, you respond politely, right? So when a client or a prospect reaches out to you, the first thing is responding politely. Then the second thing is listening attentively. Don't mind my writing, but I think you can hear me. So there's difference between listening and there's difference between hearing, right? There's difference between listening and hearing. Now, somebody that is outside might be hearing me, right? Might be hearing my voice, but is not paying attention to me. And that is what happened to most of us when a client calls us. So when a client calls you, after responding politely, next thing you listen attentively. Listen. In fact, listening is a skill that you need to learn as a realtor. if we understand that we are real estate consultants, if you understand that you're a real estate consultant, you will pay more attention to people's problems. Because what does a consultant do? Consultant provides solution to people's problem, right? And that is where your listening skills come to play. Imagine I walk into a hospital and I paid I paid to see a doctor, and then I walk into the doctor's office, and then doctor is busy pressing his phone or doing another thing while I'm trying to explain my problems to him. How do you think I will feel? I will feel neglected, right? So if I feel neglected, next thing I will leave that hospital to look for another hospital that will pay attention to me. That is what happens to when client reaches out to you. So then our job here is, after you respond politely, you listen attentively. It's when you listen that you'll be able to understand the client's problem or the client's want or the client's need, right? So what we are talking about is what to do when a client appears, right? You've done your marketing, you've done your positioning, you have shared value, you have been consistent, and people start reaching out to you. And that is where most of us have problems. When people start reaching out to us, we become so nervous. Oh, are you sure this person is going to buy? Oh, how will I talk so that this person will not disappear? Do you get? But when you understand that you're a consultant, you maintain your steez. You maintain your composure. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And that is why you should treat your real estate business as a business. It's not a side hustle. Treat it as a business. Imagine you walk into a company, you want to meet with the manager, right? And when you get, the manager is pressing his phone when you're trying to relate with him, and the manager is not listening to you. That is the same thing that happens to you when client reaches out to you. So first thing we are saying is that when a client reaches out to you, you answer what? Politely. Second thing is you listen attentively. Now, after listening attentively, you understand the client's problem. You understand the client's need. And that is what will lead us to the number 3, which is you ask the right question. I have to put this right question because some of us might go and start asking the client, are you married? How many kids do you have? Please, it's not necessary. Now, after you have listened to the client, you understand his needs. That's where you ask questions. So what do you need this land for, sir? So that it will help me to know where to suggest for you, where good locations that is suitable for that, why you need that land, right? You understand the client's need. That is where you also ask questions like, how soon do you need this land? So if I get this land with this so time, are you ready to pay now? These are right questions to ask, right? You are the consultant. I want us to stick to have, if we should have that consultant mentality on our head, we'll understand how to respond to clients better, right? Then here you ask questions like, how much are you willing to spend? So these questions are broad, open-ended questions, and not questions that will make the client feel like you're looking down on him. So over time, with my experience, I've understood that some people, when you ask them what budget do you work with, they'll pick offense. They'll become annoyed, like, why even asking me my budget? Like one certain time, recently, a prospect reached out to me. He told me how he has followed me for a long time and now he's ready to buy, blah, blah, blah. So I asked him what he needed the land for. He said, just a place that he can, he first of all got angry when I asked him, why do you need the land? What do you need the land for? He said, I should just send him what I have. I said, no problem. Don't be angry, sir. I'm sending the list immediately. So immediately I sent him the list. I sent him the list of the properties that we have. And then he went through it. Then, so as I was trying to find out what he needed the land for, I also asked him what budget was he working with. He also got angry at that point that Why am I looking down on him? That kind of thing. So immediately I said, my bad, my bad. Next thing I did was I sent him the highest selling property I have. Immediately I sent him, he said, you don't have the one of 2.5? Oh, immediately budget came out. Immediately what he want to use it for. He said, no, I just want to buy for, maybe somewhere 2 to 5 years, maybe I can build there if I want to, or resell it. I just want where I can put my money. Do you see? So most times, if we don't listen, we will not know how to provide solution. So if we answer politely, listen, ask the right question, it will lead us to the next one, which is maybe scheduling an appointment or inspection. Right? So when you have discussed with the client at a length, and then you've understood, maybe you can now look through what you have to see how you can solve his problem, right? And that is where you now say, okay, let's take a look at this particular one you have mentioned, right? That leads to scheduling inspection. So when you schedule inspection, next thing the client, let's say everything goes through, the client makes payments, and then you get your commission, documentation, allocation, all those processes. But I did this to let us know that sales have a process. There's a system to sales. And if you don't follow the system, most times you will end up not making the sales. And it's very important we pay attention to these, as little as they are, is very, in fact, is the major key that determines our sales outcome, right? And this thing that I'm explaining today has affected a lot of people. People have lost, and that's what my boss call unconscious loss, right? Unconscious loss is when you lose something and you don't even know that you lose something. So many people, they lost some clients on the way and they never knew that they lost something very huge. And that is why I will add here that before a client call you, make sure you develop a list of frequently asked questions. Develop on your own. You can write down some things that clients have been asking you and find a way to answer those questions so that when they call you, you already know how to respond. Right? You already know how to, and that is why you need to understand the product you are selling. If you are selling so particular estate, you need to know the estate in and out. In fact, if it is possible, get the frequently asked question form from the companies you are selling and read through it. Where is the property located? What is the document attached? How long does it take before I get documents? These things are questions that you are supposed to know and answer when a client calls you. The truth is that the confidence in which you answer a client will determine how he's going to work with you. If you don't answer with confidence, they will look for another person that is more confident, right? So that is why it is very good that you develop a list of frequently asked questions. When I started real estate, there was this property that, in fact, we sold that property in and out. And I got to know the property in the sense that even if you are from that village where that property is located, if I explain it to you, you'll be like, this place past me, So even if you wake me up, if you call me any moment and ask me, what of this property, I will give you. By the time you even raise objection or raise a question about that property, I already give you an answer. And that is what you're supposed to do, so that it will make it easier for you, right? See, when a client feels that your mouth is shaking, they will leave you and go to another person, right? And that is why you need to be confident on what you sell. If you don't like what you sell, nobody is going to buy it from you. if you see a land and say, "Oh, I don't like this land," I almost guarantee that you cannot sell that property, right? That is why number one thing is that for you to sell to another person, you yourself need to be sold on that property, on that product, right? So this is what you need to do. These are things you need to do when a client appears. Any question so far before I move to the major? Any questions so far? Those online, are we still following? If you have questions, please drop them while we discuss. So, so starting with the common mistakes that we do that affect our sales as realtors. Number one is not listening or paying attention to clients. Paying attention. So most often we don't listen to what prospect that reaches out to us is saying. Instead, we are more interested on what we are going to answer. And at the long run, we miss the message, right? So if we don't pay attention, if you don't listen, that's what I was saying, that listening is a skill that you need to learn, especially if you're in this business. And a wise man once said that you listen with 3 ears, right? Number one thing that you listen is you listen to what people are saying. Number two, you listen to what people are not saying, right? And then lastly, you listen for what people would say, right? This is different from hearing. So when a client reaches out to you, you listen. You have to calm down. You learn how to calm down when a client calls you or when a prospect calls you. You learn how to calm down. Keep quiet and then listen to what the person is saying. Let the person state out his problems or his needs extensively, and then you can now come in. It's when you listen that you can now, provide solution to the problem. But most times we don't pay attention and it affects our sales. Now, when we don't pay attention, let's take for instance, somebody reaches out to you and then maybe the person is an affluent buyer. He doesn't like something cheap. And then in your mind, you'll be marketing Grand Omega. Or you'll be marketing one land in Abogazi. And you now say, "Oh, sir, there's this one that you can buy." Because you're not paying attention. You're just paying attention to your own wants, right? You're paying attention to your own want that, "Oh, I want to sell 6 plots." If maybe they have promised that if you sell 6 plots, you get an iPhone or you get a car. And then you are not listening to clients. Client is, "I want somewhere that is serene, somewhere that is..." You said, "No, Abogas is serene now. Nobody is there. Maximum peace is there." You know say, "Sir, no, there's this one. In fact, with 1.5 million naira, you can get that place. There's no other fee attached." You are just concerned of your own wants, and you are not. So when that kind of thing happens, like for me, for instance, I have a client that she doesn't like any property that is cheap, no matter how strategically located the property is. Once it's cheap, she's not buying. In fact, it's even an insult to her if you mention that particular property to her. She'll be like, "What is this? Why are you sending me this?" So because I listened, I understood her and provided what she wanted. So if it is not something from 10 million up, she's not buying. So you see that there are different types of buyers. So you cannot identify the buyer if you don't pay attention. Maybe that one I'll talk about. We have different type of buyer. Like we have affluent buyers. These people, they don't want to hear that. They don't even want to see bungalows around their house. They don't want to buy in a neighborhood that is cheap. In fact, that woman, if we fly drone and she's seeing houses that have all this old zinc, she'll be like, what is this? What is the meaning of this? Right. So this is an affluent buyer, and I understood her because I listened. Now, there are clients that what they want is cheap. Nere plots to 1.5, two plots. Two plots, 1.5. So this one too, you understand him by listening. And there are also difficult buyers. So let's not talk about those ones. Yeah, those ones are different lectures of another day, right? There are also different buyers, and there are also difficult buyers. So you cannot be able to understand. You cannot understand them if you don't pay attention, and that is what listening attentively does. See, this thing, if you pay attention to this, it will become easier for you to close a client, to become easier for you to make a sale, right? So never underestimate the value of listening. It is one of the most valuable skill you can learn as a realtor. And then it's from listening that eh? Is it on listening? Yes. Maybe you can search about it or Google it, right? So it's when you pay attention that you can align their problem with solution. And it is to recommend if you are not like in the position to help them. Yes, you must not serve everybody. You must not serve every client. Yeah. That's when you educate. You educate the person, right? But in a situation like for me, I don't do rent. And when you come to me, oh, I want to rent a 1 bedroom, I'll just quickly refer you to my guy that does rents, right? That is for me. I don't do everything. I choose my niche and stay there. And what that does is that it makes you more professional, and you'll be able to serve people that are for you. So it is not a must that you serve everybody. So when you are not in the position to serve that particular client, you can recommend or you refer them. And that's why I mentioned that you can help them in the future if they need so services that you provide, right? So these things come from listening. So not listening affects our sales seriously as a realtor, because once the client identifies that you are just interested in what you will get from when he buys that property, he will leave you to look for somebody else that he can trust with his money, right? So we don't want to be like that. We want to be professional. Are we following? So number 2 is not keeping. Sorry. All right. So number 2 is not keeping with, not keeping to appointment, to scheduled appointments. Not keeping to scheduled appointments. See, if a client has a scheduled appointment for business with you, make it as a priority to keep to that scheduled appointment. Now, scheduled appointment, I want to give instances. Now, you have scheduled with a client that inspection is by 10 a.m. It is your business and it is your duty to be there before that 10 a.m., before the client arrives, right? It shows professionalism. It shows that you know what you are doing. So many times we've seen some people, in fact, their client arrives before them. Sometimes they don't even show up. And there's another lie that even comes in now. Sometimes you lie that you're in so location, meanwhile you are not there. Take for instance, I'm not in Asaba and I scheduled for inspection for a client in Asaba. Instead of telling the client on time that you're not in Asaba, that you can schedule with your colleague over there, you kept carrying the client like you're in Asaba. And when the client gets there, you are not there in Asaba. And you now say, oh, and it's at that point that you're telling clients, oh, something came up, I did not make it to come. Meanwhile, you know that you are not going to be there. So that alone will affect your sale. At that time, the client is losing trust and interest in you. And that's what happens too when you don't keep scheduled appointments. So when you schedule an appointment with a client, make sure you meet up. And at the point that you feel that you are running out of time or out of schedule, that you are not meeting up with the scheduled time, make sure you call the client or message the person that, oh, I know we scheduled for so time, but see, I'm running out of time with this. Can we reschedule, or can you give me more time and reschedule another time for the person? Now, if the person agrees, right, you can reschedule, or maybe make another convenient time that will be convenient for both you and the person. The worst thing that you can do is not to keep to schedule time. Now, I want us to take this in as a trick, because especially here in Nigeria, we see that keeping to time is a very, very, it's a very, very habit that we have learned, right? In fact, when they say 10 a.m., you say, is it not African time? So you now carry that same mentality to treat with your business. So when you treat client that way, they feel that you are not serious. But if you should learn that hack, you will be different. You will stand out from the crowd. They will know that this guy, when he says 10, he's 10. Oh, and they will respect you more. But when you say 10 and 10:30, you are sweating, you are coming, clients will just be looking at you. So this is how you do your business. So this is how we are going to work. Maybe from there, he might even cancel it, or he will tell you, I'll get back to you. Right? In fact, see, there is no second chance to create a better first impression. There's no second chance. So that first impression, make sure that it stands out. Make sure that it matters. Make sure it counts. And that is the problem we've seen with a lot of realtors. Some realtors, for instance, here, some realtors will schedule inspection with their clients, will be here before them. Sometimes we even go to sites and it's on our way coming back. The person will not be calling, did you see my client? Like, guy, you just lose like, the person will know. In fact, he will start talking with the person that he sees on ground, right? And you see that even if he manages, maybe by God's grace, he now manages to buy, he will not repeat business with you. But if he sees that you're a person of time, like there's one of my clients that doesn't joke with me because of that. If I schedule 8, whether it's a chat, even at little things as chats, if you tell client that I'm going to chat you by so time next day, please, if it is possible, set an alarm. If it is possible, set an alarm. Make sure that, in fact, before that 8 a.m., chatting by 7:50 something, right? That shows that you are in business. You are conscious of what you are doing. But if you now keep quiet, he will now take you as other people. And the only way, to make a difference is from these little things. It's not until you climb there. You can't climb there without these little things. To make a difference, most times they say, people don't, I thought they will wait now. Wait, my client is still on the way. Now you put that. It's because we've understood these little things and we started paying attention to them. It's making us to stand out. And that is a trick you can also understand for yourself as a realtor and stand out from other people. And that's when you hear client and say, client will tell me something like, Jacinta, you're really different. Yesterday, I scheduled to call. A client called me. My client, he has been a buying client. He called me that he was trying to speak with me. And at that moment, I was tight with work and everything. I told him, can we speak by 8 p.m.? And reaching that 8 p.m., I was still running around for some other things. So what I did, I sent him message before that 8 p.m. Around 7:30 something, I said, sir, please, can I call you by 9 p.m.? I'm so place and I cannot meet up. Do you understand? And you see, when I called him, and exactly 9 p.m., I called him. And he was like, wow, Jacinta, that is why he always talk about me, right? So clients will treat you special when you keep to your words. And that is how you become reliable. And that is how they can trust you with business. So when you don't pay attention to as little things like this, sorry for that. As little things like this, you will miss a lot of things and you think that you're not missing some things, right? So are we clear on that part? Yeah, for those that are joining us, welcome. So today we're talking about common mistakes that affect your real estate sale, and we've talked about a whole lot of things. Maybe later you can go online and watch it. We've talked about not listening and paying attention to clients, and we've talked about not keeping to scheduled time, right? Then number 3 is lying to clients. Lying slash not giving full disclosure to clients. I don't want to ask this question, but how many of us have lied to a client before? So lying to clients can affect our sales and not giving full disclosure. Now, most times we think that is when we lie to client that clients will buy. Somebody will tell you that, no, the land is behind airport. And I will not imagine which land is behind airport that you are selling for 1.5 or for 2.5. So not giving full disclosure of the product you are selling will affect your sales. In fact, it makes it very difficult. It makes it very difficult for you to close on that client. Right? We've seen it in different scenarios when realtors will send their clients for inspection and they told their client entirely different things. Now, it is good. I know you are trying not to paint that the place is far, but it is okay you tell the person it's far. But then give him benefits of buying that particular property and why it is selling for that price. I mean, if it is not far, it will not be selling for 1.5, right? If it is not far, it will not be selling for 2.5 or 3 million, right? So it is okay you disclose everything that is concerning the product you are selling to a client with your sense, right? Instead of lying to clients, it's better if you are speaking with a client on the phone and you are not certain about something, instead of lying or saying something that you are not sure of, you can tell the client that, please, I'm not sure of this one, but let me call you back. Give me a moment, I'll respond to you on this, right? It is clients will appreciate it more than when you go ahead to lie. And when you now lie, so tell the client can't pay, right? The client now paid and now discover more lies that you have told him. It will be very difficult to do business with you again. In fact, he will cancel you both in his forehead, at the back of his head, anywhere that he sees you, right? And if you understand that, like Mr. Jeff always said that a client is a doorway to 1,000 others. So the way you treat one client, if so if you don't treat that person right, he will mention it to 1,000 other people that you are like this, right? So whatever you are doing, whatever lie you are telling to somebody, know that you're not only telling it to him, you're telling it to other 1,000 people that he knows. And that is why it's very important not to lie to clients. See, it is okay to give me when it comes to property, I make sure I give you full details. Running away from. So some people they'll find people that are not ready. They have different excuses. So clients that are not ready to buy, or prospects that are not ready to buy, they'll say, my wife said that is not a good place to buy, or if you had if you had made that place, if you had made the price to be 1 million, I would have paid. Oh, these are unserious people or people that are not ready yet to buy. So there are some things you cannot control, which is their reaction, but you can control other things by giving them full disclosure about that place. This thing I'm explaining like this has affected a lot of sales. In fact, sometimes we have to refund because the client might not even agree to the next payment you are asking him to make. So please let's take note of this. Always tell the truth with sense and then give full disclosure. Then another thing I'm going to be talking about is not paying attention to our physical appearance. Now, here I'm not talking about how you look. I'm not talking about how big is your nose or how small is your mouth. I'm not talking about that. Here I'm talking about how you dress, right? Now, when you are meeting with a client or going for inspection, most of us will not appear as if we need help, right? And your confidence will drop immediately. See, one of the things that will help you when you're taking clients for inspection is the way you look, the way you dress. That is how the clients will address you. In fact, even if you come late, they'll say, "Oh, sorry, sir," because of the way you're dressing, right? So let us not paying attention to how we dress most of the time affect our sales. When the person will look at you, say, "Nah, if I give this person my money, he will just run and leave. I wish I'm going to see my investment after this time," right? So let us pay attention to our dress. Before you leave your house, especially when you're meeting clients for the first time, look at yourself. Ask yourself, am I well groomed? Is my hair tattered? Am I well groomed? Am I smelling nice? Oh, that part. That part. Very important. You see some people when they're coming out for inspections with their clients, they will now wear slippers, wear polo or something, and then they will not go and eat abacha in one joint at Obiago with raw onions. And they will now come to class. Hey, sir, hi. Had you been? I know you now. Right? And then check, and then you will not think of smelling nice. You don't use deodorant. You don't use things that will make you smell nice. Right? I know we don't smell, but it is good for us. Right? So make sure we smell nice. It's not when your armpit is soaked. By the time you rush out to clients, your armpit is already soaked and it's smelling, and you now say. So please, let's pay attention to that. Those things matter. If client is not sitting comfortable with you because of the way you smell, then he might tell you, "I'll get back to you," and you're wondering what happened. What did they do anything wrong? You're asking yourself. Go and ask your grandfather. Right? So these are little things that we don't pay attention to that matters. Right? Make sure you are well groomed, you are well dressed. Make sure you smell nice. Make sure that you don't have odor in anywhere. Right? Because these are little things that matters. So look this from your customers' eyes. So even you as a person, when you see yourself the way you are looking, will you meet with yourself for advice? Especially when it comes to they are calling millions on, right? So ask yourself, so if this client see me now, will he be able to, discuss this business with me? So before you leave, client for the first time, make sure you look nice, right? These are things that matters. So not paying attention to our physical appearance. In fact, your morale will just drop. Most times, the way you carry yourself, because you dress nice, when you're going for inspection, you can be talking, be pointing landmarks. So this is where governor is doing this. This is where this is happening. But if you're already looking like you need help, you're already looking down, you cannot even talk. The client is now the one forming the boss, right? That is what happens most times. You see the client will now say, this place is not supposed to be like, but if you dress well, you can be able to talk, right? So let us pay attention to that. Let's pay attention to that. That's what happens to most realtors. Most realtors, they feel that it's just inspection now. I don't have to look so gang. We don't ask you. You can look simple and classy. You can look simple and okay, right? So if you are looking like you need help, what happens is that you will not be able to convince the client. And that's what happens when client calls you for the first time. See, there are two things that happen when a client reaches out to you. It's either you are closing on the client, or the client is closing on you. Right? And that's what happens when you meet with the person physically. He'll be telling you reason why he's not going to buy because of the way you are looking. He'll be telling you reasons why he's not going to buy. And you feel that this person is not serious. Yeah. But if you had looked better, as he's saying, you are making your own points, and you see that he calms down. And that is why you need to develop the list of questions that you ask clients when you meet with them. No, you don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to. That's not the part I'm coming from. I don't say you should go and do BBLO for the ladies. So that is it for that. And then the last point which I'll be talking today is not. Can I watch this? Not understanding or recognizing buying signals. Not what? Not understanding or recognizing buying signals. Now, there's something called buying signals. So what is a buying signal? What is a buying signal? So a buying signal is anything that a customer sees or says that does that indicate enthusiasm or interested in what you are offering. Do we understand it? I said buying signals are things that customer does or says that shows that he's enthusiastic about what you are offering, or he's interested in what you are offering. Now, how will you understand? How do you identify buying signals? Right. This thing I'm about to share with you has made a lot of people lose so many sales because they don't understand buying signals. In fact, most times when clients are giving us buying signals, we are doing that. We don't understand it. We don't understand it. So, how do we identify a buying signal? So, it's verbal buying signal. There's verbal buying signal and non-verbal buying signal. Remember, we said that it is something that the client says or does that shows that he's interested in a particular product that you're offering or particular service that you're offering, right? So let's talk about verbal buying signal. So this verbal buying signal is when he says things that shows that he's interested in what you are offering. That's when clients will start saying, so he start asking questions like, so how do I he asks questions like, who developers of this place, what is the plan of this place, right? He asks questions like, so if I want to go for this particular product, how do I go about it? What document do I get? When clients are asking this question, your your mind or your consciousness should tell you that these people, this person is indicating interest in what you are selling. And that is not the time to start giving the person more options. That is not the time to start telling the person, oh, there's another one. If you don't like this one, there's another one we have in Ninth Mile. There's another one we have at Tugogo. Meanwhile, the client is already in this one, right? Like, is what if I buy now? Is it if I'm going to pay? These are buying signals, are verbal buying signals. He's saying them, right? If you don't pay attention, you don't understand this thing I'm saying. When saying it, showing those buying signals, start is an objection. Oh, don't worry, I'll show you party. Oh, don't worry, if you don't like this one, there's another one you can go for. Meanwhile, that's not what the client needs at that particular point. Signals. For you to make that, if you don't this part, don't pay for this part, you keep losing sales. Last week, a realtor was sharing to me about how they lost one deal because of said the client was already asking how will he pay, what will he do, all this, and the colleague now said, oh. And what happens? You know, when a client is very undecided, you make more. If you make more options, it will become very hard for him to decide. And at that moment, either tell you or or I'll get back to you. And most times they never get back to you. Next time for you to sell is when the client to buy. Signals he shows. Right? So we need to pay attention to all those things. When you start asking what are other payments involved, how much down payment do I? So if I go to property now, how much do you think like what I calculate the ROI in 5 years? So sit down, give him breakdown, write down, calculate ROI of what you're going to achieve from that property in the next 5 years. I'm a consultant, and matter of fact, I studied estate management, and as well, right, on how to calculate ROI, you know, and I've done a video like that before on how to calculate ROI, right? So, so, so if you don't understand the buying signals, you will not be able to know how to close in that time. So, like that kind of my clients, before all those things, and I'm giving answers, right? And what do you do when the so let me not rush to that part. Also mention about buying verbal buying signal. When they are already those buying signals, when you're telling them that don't by that time you're sharing buying that property or what they are going to invest. People buy because of what they are going to benefit and not because of what you are going to benefit. And if you understand these parts, that people buy because of their own emotions and not yours, you'll be able to know how to massage their emotions. And that's when you understand their buying signals. So at this point, the client is agreeing positively. Yeah, yes. He's agreeing to you, he's agreeing positively to what you are saying. He's saying, okay, okay, right? So, and then he himself thinking positively about the place. You know, start telling it is, oh, yeah, can't you will 6 plots, so that Obrugodi na-enwekata development abịa ebe ahụ. Sorry for the vernacular if you are not Igbo. So if there's development in that area, I might even decide to build a school, right? This time he's talking positively. And buying signal comes when you have shared benefits. See, there is time, when it comes to selling, there is time to talk, there is time to listen, and there is time to close. If you talk throughout these times, if you don't observe these times, you will lose the sale. That's what makes so many people lose sale. You see them, they are talking. You think it's by talking that will make the client to pay. There is time to talk. When you talk, you listen. When you listen, you hear what the client's feedback is like. And then you close. If it is my boss, our coach, Tadeka, he say, shut up and collect the money. Seriously, shut up and collect the money. But most times we are lost. In fact, we just keep, even when client is still saying, so where will I feel? Should I make payment? Say, you know, this telling him about benefit of, you know the rest. Right? So these things affect our sales. You see, I've seen some people, they talk their clients out of the business. Client is ready to pay. You will now talk. Now bring another thing inside. Client will now start asking, I know they like waste time. So if you observe those times, that time to talk, that time to listen, and that time to close. Now, these buying signals are closing hours. Client, you have gone for inspection, and client is showing interest, small. As people are coming back, he's discussing. And this thing, we discussed extensively on them on Realtor School. If you have not signed up on Realtor School, please make sure you're going to sign up. That place we discuss extensively on how to handle inspections, right? So when you are coming back from inspection, he's already asking, so this place now, if I buy one, if I want to go for 2 plots, I'm not getting them discounts. People will not give me discounts. These are buying signals. That time my what is it called? My sensory antenna is telling me this client, the hour has come. The hour has come to close, to collect the money, right? After you have done marketing, there is time to market now. There is time to, listen to the client after marketing, and there's time to now collect the money. So when people are now coming back from the client is saying, okay, so if I want to go for 2 plots, is there no discount? He's asking, so is there another payment that I have to pay? So how will I see my plot? You see questions like that. How will I see my plot? How will I know that? How will I choose the plot? And that is the time you respond. It's not the time to give options. If you give option, you lose the clients. Or now, and you lose the money. Right? Now, let's talk about non-verbal buying sign. Non-verbal buying signals are the ones that the client doesn't say. But with your sense now, and you've attended this class, you'll be able to understand. That's what I was trying to say when I said you listen to what people are saying, you listen to what they are not saying, and you now listen to what they are about to say. And this is the time to listen to what they are not saying. Right? Here, the client look at you more. He'll not be looking at you. You're explaining. He's looking at you. He's looking at you. He's nodding. Okay, yes, they are going to develop that place. Yes, he's nodding. He's making his calculation. Sometimes the client is checking his limit. You're not telling you things like, my problem is that I have a limit though. I cannot move 5 million naira once. As people are discussing, this once he's making his calculations, then he's not checking. No, if I move this 5 million naira, I will not have money to eat for the next 1 week. Right? He's making his calculations. And that time, you as a sabi realtor where you be, what you need to do here is to reinforce the signal. Now he has showed all these signals. What do? You reinforce it. Reinforcing is agreeing to what they are saying. If the client is talking positively with you agree. This is not the time to show yourself. You agree. You make rewarding comments like, I like, say, you will be like, Mr. Tim, this is a very smart, and you say that it is, I like the way you chose these two plots. I mean, if you sell one, you can retain one. Here you are making rewarding comments. Because let me tell you the truth, at this stage, the client is having what we call, will I say, emotional, he's feeling somehow. He's already feeling, something is going out of me, something is going out of me. Even you, yourself, sometimes if you want to pay something that is very high, how do you feel? You will just be praying to God, God, I beg you. God, I beg you. Let this thing not be a scam. And that is why I don't sell properties I am not sold on. If I don't like the property, I cannot sell it. I will not even mention it to my clients. Because my heart will be up. What if this man pays and these people did not respond? Your heart is jumping. So this moment, the client's heart is jumping. So the only thing you can do is to reinforce the signal. Right? Reinforce it. Make rewarding comments. Tell him, oh, okay, no problem. If you cannot make 5 million naira once, you can make so deposits. Then tomorrow. For some people, client is saying, I need to go to the bank. Go with me. Somebody is saying, so you can go now. What are you doing there? Somebody wants to go to the bank and make payment, and you're still saying you can go. What are you waiting here for? So some realtors, so I'm sure you are not some realtors, right? Even when the client is saying, can you follow me to the bank so that I can make this payment? Please. Where are you going to? No, where are you going to? Where exactly are you going to? When your client say, follow me. As I saw somebody the other time, the client wants to go and make payment in the bank. The client said she should follow her. She was not saying that she has. Where are you going to exactly? Why not just follow and collect the money and come back? And you're telling me you are going. Where are you going to exactly? Village people, right? Sometimes we are doing it and we call them village people, but it's something that we have unconsciously built over time, and we are losing deals, we are losing sales, we are not getting to where we are, and we feel that we are cursed or things are not working out for us, right? So, like I said, reinforce the buying signal. You can explain here the benefit, the reward he's going to get if you buy this place. This is the time to do it, right? Then the next step, so now I've talked about understand what buying signal is, right? How to identify them. Now I'm talking about what to do, right? Please, let's take it. Sorry, I'm running. Those online, hope we are following. If you are following, let me see the fire emoji in the comment section. And if you have your question, you can note them down. So we have talked about what, why. Okay, have we talked about why? No. how to identify, and then what to do when you have identified. So we're still talking about what to do when the client is giving buying signal. Number one, we talked about is reinforcing the signal, right? Then number two is make it easy for the person to buy or for the person to pay. Make it easy for the client, right? Once the client decides that he's going to pay, he's already confronted with a new set of problems. Like, how will I pay? Where will I pay to? How long will, if I pay now, when will I get my document? This is a new set of problem that is already coming to his mind because he's already going to pay. So make it easy for the client. So that is a time you don't have to come and start showing the form. So sir, this is where you are going to pay. Here, you can copy it out, make it easy. Copy it out, type it out, send it. Oh, breakdown. And I usually give breakdown to my client when you want to pay. I make it easy. I send you form. Oh, you are not able. Don't worry, I'll help you to fill it. Just send me this social information. I'll fill it. This is the account details. I'll copy the account different so that you can just, copy it. I don't know, people like stressing client that want to pay. Why? So at this point, you just make it easy for him. Show him the account. Show him the bank he's paying to. Show and tell him that, after the documentation takes also time before he gets it. You will notify him when the documentation comes out. So at this point, you make it easy for the client to pay. So, like I was saying, this point is not the time to give too many options. Too many options makes the client more undecisive, right? For instance, there was a realtor we took the client and her for inspection, and the client was already giving all these buying signals. And we've concluded that he's coming back to the office to fill the form. Next thing, she diverted her to another place. And these people came all the way. I don't want to mention the name of the state, but it's outside Enugu. They came outside Enugu for that particular inspection, and you have shown them, like, see, don't give clients more than one or two options. So far, their budget is within that range. If you give them two or more options, they become confused. And when they are confused, client doesn't buy in confused states. Even you, when you are confused. Recently, I had issue with my phone and I wanted to get a new one. And I experienced this thing I'm telling you now. I was confused at a point because I was not convinced, right? That thing too happens to clients too. So when you give them more options, they become confused, they become undecisive, and they will tell you to go. So that's how those people came all the way from the state they were coming from. Took them to two estates, and they were now asking questions. Now, when clients start asking questions in relation to a particular property particular option you have given them, know that they are interested in that particular option that they are asking you questions related to. So let's take, for instance, you mentioned, say, Grand Omega and Elite Court, and you have explained the benefits of buying the two to the person. That's why I don't suggest. I don't tell you the one to buy. Please learn it, because if Wahala should shoot tomorrow, they'll say you are the one that said I should buy Grand Omega now. Do you understand? So what I normally do is we give you benefits of the both, and by the time you are giving the person benefit of the both, he's already asking questions in related to one. Maybe the person is not interested in Grand Omega. So can't we C of O? Does it mean I'm going to get C of O if I buy? You understand? He's already asking questions. Then don't talk about Elite again. Move with Grand Omega. Right? Then if it's indicating interest, so this if it's indicating interest in elite court, you say, okay, this one that is already fenced, does it mean I have to still fence my plot if I buy? You see that he's interested, he's moving towards it. Don't say no, buy this one. No, you have calculated your commission. Oh, this Grand Omega B elite court is going to give you higher commission. You're not saying, sir, buy this one. You're shooting yourself on the leg. If anything should happen tomorrow, you tell that you're the one that told him to buy it, right? But when you give the benefit, you pay attention. We are still coming back to listening. You pay attention to the one he's asking question related to. So if he's not asking, oh, this one, that you move to that direction and give him benefits, reinforce his signals, reinforce them, give him benefit that why he should make this one, and then he go ahead with it. So back to my story. Those people, they came all the way from where they came, show them like 2 estates, and they're already asking questions in relation to one. So what is the plot size of this particular estate? What document do I get? Is there any other fee aside the 2.5? Is there any other? See, the client is already trying to make up his mind in that particular property. Next thing, village people. Next thing, Chinan said, we're already heading back. And because they were not in the same car with us, they came with their own vehicle and the person was there with them. And I said, no, there's another one we're having. Later asked, did they later buy? Till today, they did not buy. Took them to like 2 or more properties there. And clients were exhausted at the end of the day. And they went back to wherever they were coming from. And that's how they never till today. You see that it is not village people. It is you. And because we don't pay attention to all these things, we lose a lot of deals on the table. We leave a lot of deals on the table. We lost a lot of sales because of these habits. And most times, we don't even see it as a habit. We don't even see it as a problem. That is even the worst of it. Most people don't even see it as a problem, that these things that just happen is a problem. And that is why we are doing this. We are doing this training to enlighten you about these things. See, sales is a process, and it must pass that process before sales is done, right? So if you try to maneuver, if you don't handle any part well, it will affect the end point or the end goal, right? So make the buying process easier for the person. And then lastly, ask for the business. Our coach, Sadeka, will say, do not be afraid to ask for the money. So at this point, you are telling the clients, are you paying now? How long should we go ahead to mark out this plot for you? When do you think you will make payments to secure this particular plot for you? This is when you are asking for the business. See, you've done all those things. You are not telling him to pay. You are just romancing the guy. Sorry for that word. We are just massaging the client all this while, right? So at this point, you ask for the business, ask for the money. From the training we went for in, in Lagos, and Tadekash said, don't be afraid to ask for the money. Ask for the money. And this is what he meant by asking for the money. At this time, ask the client, are you paying now? How long do you think we can reserve this plot for you? Right? Do you think you look him in the eyes? If he's there physically, ask him. So, God, are you going to pay now? Are you making the transfer now? And you'll be like, oh, yes, I'm making the transfer now. Some people, they make the transfer at the spot. In fact, sometimes there's a client I was speaking with on the phone. While on the phone, I was closing him. He was making transfer while we were still on the phone, right? So because I've understood this, right? And I know that is already the right time to ask for the money. I asked for the money. So he asked for the business. Ask him to pay. Ask him to order. See, these things we are teaching here applies to other business. It's not just real estate, right? You finish giving benefits, you finish giving buying signals, he asks for form, and you not ask him. How many of us have experienced that some clients will fill form and they never paid? Have we experienced it? You've not. Eh, 2022, I experienced it a lot. In fact, they will fill the form and I'll get back to you, right? Because we are afraid to ask. And even the Bible said, ask, and it shall be given to you. What will happen? You will not make the money if you don't ask. How will it be given to you if you don't ask? Right? So at this point, you ask him to pay. Are you paying? In fact, if you're sitting there, it's not disrespectful to look somebody in the eyes. In fact, it shows respect that you're looking in. So you have to learn it, right? That's why you have to read books on communication, read books on how to speak to people, and then you see that looking somebody in the eye is very important. At this point, look at the person in the eye and ask him to pay, right? Ask him things like, are you making the down payment now? You think we should secure this plot now for you, right? It's your payment that determines that this plot holds, right? So this is the point to ask for the money. Any questions so far? Okay. Those online, let me check. Those online, are we following so far? Now I'm talking to two audiences. Are we following so far? How many of us have enjoyed this session so far? If you have, let me know. Right? So these things, this is where I'll be ending my conversation today. So these things that are the common mistakes. This is very common. That's why I call it common. They are very common. And you see someone that have been like 5 years, 10 years in the business, right? You are not seeing the results. You are not feeling like you have done enough for yourself. It's because you have been doing these mistakes over and over again. And the worst is that you don't even see it as a problem. You don't even see it as a mistake, right? And that is why I thought to share this today. If we should pay attention to this, our selling becomes easier and closing on clients become easier, right? So if you don't have question, okay, all right. No, you can. ROI. ROI is return on investment. Return on investment or loss. So there's usually a percentage accord. It's usually calculated. This is 50% because they are so investors. Give an example that know his return. Right. So it's a point you can calculate it for yes. Yeah. So ROI uh, is office calculates for investors. Loss. Any question on anybody here? So if there's no other question, please say that thought to practice more clients signals. Let's pay attention to clients speaking to you because when you listen to when they call you, that's when you can match problem. And doing all of this. But because most time we don't even see consultant practice is the work of a consultant. The work of a consultant. How do you profile is by asking questions, right? And for see the doctor, and I went in, and the doctor looked at me. Why are you here? So, what is the problem? What is it doing you? It is a real estate consultant always question takes control of the conversation, right? So that is why I say closing starts in the meeting with the client. So it's either the client is closing on you or you're closing on the client is more of the question. You're now more, you are feeling low about it. You see that he's already taking hold of the conversation and he will close on you. He will tell you reasons why he will not buy, right? But if you're taking hold of the conversation, making him to talk, right? Making him to talk, making the person to talk about the problem he you will stand a better chance on closing on him by providing solution to his problem. So this is where we'll be wrapping up today. Thank you so much all for coming for today's training. Um, Make sure you practice all we have said. And you cannot do this if you don't generate leads. We've talked more about how to generate leads, how to position yourself. If you've not watched those videos, you can go to our um, YouTube channel and watch those videos. And we discuss more of these things extensively on the Realtor School. So you can check on the website on how to register in Realtor School, www.realtors.school. At this place, we've discussed extensively how to start out your career as a real estate agent or as a realtor, and how to scale over time. So thank you so much, everyone, and then have a good day.
Good morning, everybody. Did we think we got value from today's? Oh, this light is massive. Okay. Did you think we got value at the end of this training? Okay. So, like she said when she was ending, we came here because we wanted to learn, right? We came here to like date game, right? Right? Good. So sometimes what we do as humans is after coming for an event, we've learned today that how you look also is part of clothing. It's part of what we should do to make a sale. So when you do that, tomorrow you start putting into practice small, small. You are becoming better. You are becoming better. One of the things Mr. Jeff will always say is that it's in the process that you learn. Some of the times you want everything before we launch out. No, launch out. As you launch out, as you are on the way, you are making those mistakes, becoming better. For example, one of the mistakes she mentioned here when I started, but of course, because of training, I can't make it again. So newbie, even if you're a newbie, it's something that you say, I have started on this part of journey and I make sure that I keep at it, I get better, I grow at it, and I become better. Do we understand? Do we understand? We all want us to grow and scale in this related industry, but it's all dependent on you. Even if you are not perfect, but you keep learning and growing at it, over time you notice that I am looking back and I'm seeing that I'm literally closing deals literally every week. It's so we cheer us everybody. And Jacinta, someone said your sections are always inspiring. Sometimes the way she says it, like I always tell her, you just feel like, what is she saying? But if you listen carefully to her, she makes sense. She explains this real estate like to the barest. Anybody who has not learned can learn from her. So take advantage of all that you've learned today. And I believe that your life will be a success in Jesus' name. All right. How many of you today is your first time of coming here? All right. Okay, great. So at the end of this meeting, please let's sit by this side of this. So we have something for you. And that brings us to the end of today's training. Okay. We'll see you here, same time, same station, same venue next week. Bye for now.